Hello, everybody. Good Friday to you. Give yourselves a pat on the back. You made it through another week. Uh, would have been a fairly decent day if it hadn't been for the wind today, but be much less windy tomorrow. Anyway, welcome to the Time Out Overtime show on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenault, live and direct from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. And it's that time again. So quickly, let's get into this for our great sponsors, and then I'll try to get you caught up on everything I think you need to know. Frank Beck Chevrolet is thanking all their loyal Chevy owners with big savings during Chevy Loyalty Month now through March 3rd. Loyal Chevy owners can save an extra $1,000 on brand new 2025 Blazers, Colorados, Trailblazers, and Silverado HD models. Plus, you get 1.9% financing available on select models. Bex also has a great selection of late model pre-owned vehicles at fantastic prices. You can check out their entire inventory on their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com, or better still, stop by and see them on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, and let them help you experience the Frank Beck difference. Now, quickly, I'm going to remind you, as I have been, and I'm sure if you have been listening to WCSR locally here in Hillsdale, you know that we want you to circle Saturday, April the 12th on your calendar. Put it in your phone or do whatever you have to do, because that's the Beck's annual Maggie Fry Scholarship Breakfast. This year's event will run from 8 to 11 a.m. right in the showroom, right in the Frank Beck showroom, and will feature the Time Out crew, Andy and yours truly, doing our show live and direct. I think the time will be the same from 9 to 10 from the Frank Beck Chevrolet showroom, as we will be part of the annual Maggie Fry Scholarship Breakfast. No excuses. No excuses. We want to see you all out there. Clear your calendar. Put it on your phone. Make a big circle around Saturday, April 12th, 8 to 11 a.m. Frank Beck Chevrolet showroom, Maggie Fry Scholarship Breakfast. Get out there. Say hi to me and Andy, and it's a great time for a great cause. Want to see you all out there. No excuses. Saturday morning, Frank Beck Chevrolet showroom, 8 to 11 a.m. Bob Flynn also wanted me to remind you that Beckathon has been extended. So you can still get in there and get an extra $1,000 dealer cash on all remaining new 2024 models in stock. And you get extra $3,000 dealer cash on all select used vehicles in stock. So get in there and take advantage of that. Time Out Overtime is also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance on the corner of US 12 and M99 in Jonesville, BarrettINS.com. On the corner of US 12 and M99 in Jonesville, Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. We thank all our loyal sponsors right now. Barrett Insurance, 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, one more time, on the corner of US 12 and M99 in Jonesville, BarrettINS.com. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. Now, before we get started, let's do this. The whistle, here we go for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. Where do we start? Well, Michigan last night, on a shot at the buzzer from Namari Bennett, defeated Rutgers 84-82 last night to keep pace with Michigan State. They're both 14-3, and I think this is going to come right down to a week from Sunday on March the 9th, last regular season game of the year for both these two teams. Why not? That's we couldn't here in Michigan. We couldn't ask for anything better to have Michigan play Michigan State on the final game of the year with the Big Ten title at stake. That would be ideal, and it sure is looking that way, barring any slip-ups or mishaps. Let's hope that's what we see. That would be great, wouldn't it? At the Breslin Center in East Lansing, a week from Sunday, March the 9th. But until then, doubleheader Sunday. Both games are on CBS back-to-back, and you couldn't ask for anything better than that. You don't have anything to do your Sunday afternoon. Channel 6 on CBS. At 1:30, you've got You've got what is the leadoff game at 1:30? Is the Spartans playing Wisconsin at the Breslin? That's a 1:30 game, as I said on Channel 6, and then immediately after that, you've got Michigan and Illinois at 3:45 on CBS Channel 6 in our area here. Let's hope they're not looking ahead to a week from Sunday, but these are both. I'm sure Michigan State and Michigan are both slightly favorites in these two games, but Illinois and Wisconsin, you can't look ahead. They could they could get beat, either one of them or both of them, if they're looking ahead to this game a week from Sunday. So anyway, yeah, it'd be you don't have anything to do Sunday. That's a good 4 or 5 hours of entertainment. Watching at 1:30, watching the Spartans take on Wisconsin, and then right after that, the Wolverines taking on Illinois about 2:45 or 3 o'clock, or closer to 3:30 probably. Anyway, it will be immediately following the Michigan State and Wisconsin game. Good doubleheader. So looking forward to that. Also, Red Wings last night, a very disappointing loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're nipping at their heels for that wild card spot in the NHL Eastern Conference. Of course, they're both in different divisions, but they're both vying for the same spot in the Eastern Conference seedings when it comes to the playoffs. Surprising that after last night's game, get in here, Miggy. Surprising that after last night's game, Todd McClellan proved one thing, to me anyway, that he's got complete command of that locker room. If he can come out immediately after the game and criticize team captain Dylan Larkin like he did. He also said that he was going to have a talk with him today, but you don't see that very often. Usually when a coach has a bone to pick with one of his players, he'll do it privately and not in front of the press. So I like that. I find it refreshing, and that tells me that Todd McClellan has complete command of that locker room right now. That's why he's a team captain. In short, what he said was, since the second half started, he hasn't really been cutting the mustard too much. Seems like he's unsure of himself, or for whatever reason, and he's not blaming it on the tournament Four Nations face-off. He's not blaming it on that. He said he wasn't even going to go there, but that proves something to me. And again, I found it refreshing. Derek Lalonde would have never done anything like this. So let's see how they respond tomorrow night at the Horseshoe in Columbus when both teams meet again in front of almost 90,000 people. 6 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN. You can watch the Red Wings take on the Blue Jackets. It's going to be a chilly night there tomorrow night, too. So let's see how they respond after to be a fly on the wall to hear that conversation today between Dylan Larkin and his head coach, Todd McClellan. Larkin had such a good Four Nations tournament, face-off tournament, that his name was being bandied about as being the captain for the U.S. Olympic team next year. He was that good. And apparently what Tom McClellan was telling us last night was he hasn't really been cutting the mustard in these first 3 games. There's 3 or 4 games in the second half. So we'll see how the team responds tomorrow night in Columbus. These are all key games. Last thing right now they need is a losing streak because we certainly don't want to see a replay of what happened last year. Getting down to the point now, every game is critical. Every point is critical. The NHL trade deadline is a week from today, March 7th. Yzerman's got to do something. He's under pressure now to do something. Make a move or 2. You got to do something before the trade deadline next Friday. So he's another one that's under pressure. So, and I'm sure Todd McClellan's well aware of what happened last year. So, tomorrow night, rematch, Red Wings and Blue Jackets from the Horseshoe in Columbus. Pistons going for 9 in a row tonight against a Nugget team that just lost last night in Milwaukee. They're playing on short rest. So because of that win, the Bucks are now a half a game up on the Pistons. We're going for 9 in a row tonight. A very impressive win for the Pistons over the Celtics a couple of nights ago. 20-point blowout. Maybe the Celtics took them a little too lightly or whatever. I don't know what the deal was there. But the Celtics came in themselves on a 7 or 8 game winning streak. That game wasn't even close. I mean, it was tied at 55 at halftime, but the Pistons certainly dominated in the second half. And it's remarkable what this team has done. Anyway, if they could manage to beat Denver tonight, it'd be their 9th consecutive win with the lowly Brooklyn Nets coming in tomorrow night before they going on a West Coast trip. Great chance for the Pistons. I'm sure they'd love to have a 10-game winning streak in their pockets when they get on that plane and head out west. Next week, they'll be playing Utah and the Clippers and Golden State and Portland before coming back home here. This is their final West Coast trip of the year, by the way. So, yeah, these are 2 key games. If they could manage to win tonight and tomorrow night and have a 10-game winning streak in their pockets, heading out west, as you recall, last time they went out west, they were very successful out there. So, let's, first things first, beat Denver tonight. Exhibition baseball. The Tigers lost today 10-7 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Will be on the radio here tomorrow locally, 1 o'clock when they take on the Phillies. Look, I don't read anything, as I told you before, I don't read anything into what transpires in spring training baseball. All I can tell you is Kerry Carpenter already looks like he's ready for opening day. Reese Olson gave up a couple of home runs in the first inning, one of those to Vlad Guerrero, but I'm not concerned at all about that. Some of these pitchers you see pitching, you're not familiar with these guys. They're minor leaguers. No, I don't put anything. Look, the main thing is, as Jim Leland would always say, the main thing is you don't want to see anybody get hurt. And the Tigers are already dealing with a couple of injury issues. Parker Meadows has what is being diagnosed as an upper right arm inflammation. He is continuing to undergo medical examination. There is no timetable for his return. I do not like the sound of that. And now Matt Verling has a strained rotator cuff. Evan Petzel reported today that he will not be ready for opening day. That's 2 key components that you're taking on that line. Maybe that's good news for Jay Strong and Hao-Yu Lee. If Verling has to go on the injured list prior to or on opening day or whatever, doesn't make the opening day roster, I'd say that's maybe a windfall for Jay Strong and Hao-Yu Lee. We'll see. But is it concerning? Not yet. But, Parker Meadows, who I think is the best center fielder in baseball, they can ill afford to lose him for any extended period of time. Matt Verling, too. He's a very good role player, whether it be at third base or in the outfielder. But it would be not good for them to lose either one of these 2 guys for extended. Keep your fingers crossed on both these guys. Okay. Before we get to the Lions, if I told you everything I want to tell you here, is there anything that I missed? Let me give one quick overview here. I don't want to leave anything out. Pistons story. There was a nice Pistons, great story on the Pistons in yesterday's Wall Street Journal. If you have a time, maybe get that online or something. Pistons right now are probably the number 1 story in the NBA this year. Also, there's a pitcher by the name of Tyler Owens for the Tigers, touching 97, 98 on the radar gun down there. Tyler Owens is a fellow they got last year at the trade deadline from the Rangers for Carson Kelly. He's got a long beard. You wonder how that doesn't affect him into his windup. But just the name to keep, remember the name, Tyler Owens. In spring training anyway, touching 97, 98 mile per hour on the radar gun down there. Derek Skubal has been named opening day pitcher for the Tigers out at Dodger Stadium in L.A. That's not a surprise. Georgia McCaskey, uh, owner of the Chicago Bears, has passed away recently. I did kind of missed that, but I believe she has passed away at the age of what, 98. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, Georgia McCaskey, who of course was the daughter of one of the founding fathers of the NFL, George Halas. No, I kind of went under the radar, but I wanted to make you aware of that. So, is that it? Before we, I think I've got you caught up on everything here. Yep. Before we get to the Lions, let's do this for Tim Lindley at Quality BC in downtown Hillsdale. We wouldn't be doing this show without Tim's assistance. It's LENDLEY. All your technical needs, issues, anything at all. Computers, new or used. Maybe the computer you have now needs a little work done on it. Flat screen TVs, mounting, programming. Maybe you're getting a new internet provider, you need that installed. Printers, new or used, anything at all. Maybe you're having an issue with the printer you have now. This is the guy you want to call or see. 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale, across the street from Fat Jack's Automotive. A couple hundred feet west of Howell Street. 517-610-5372. Get in there and see Tim or one of his very capable assistants. Again, that's 517-610-5372. 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale. When you do get in there, tell them me and Mickey sent you. Thank you very much. As I continue to guzzle water here to get through with this. Lions, as you saw by the headline, continue to do their due diligence in Indianapolis. Among the interviews they've had down there with players, they met with Jalen Milroe, the quarterback, or former quarterback, if you will, of Alabama. They've met with him and two other quarterbacks. Before I tell you what I think about that, I'm going to the list of 30 players here that the Lions have already met with or will be meeting with this week. As I said, they've either already met with these players or will be. It's a rather lengthy list. So I'll go over this as quickly as I can, beginning with Marshall Edge, Mike Green, formal meeting. Texas A&M Edge, Nick Scorton, formal meeting. Ohio State Edge, Jack Sawyer, formal. Michigan Edge, Josiah Stewart, informal. LSU Edge, Savion Jones, formal. Ole Miss outside linebacker Chris Paul Jr., better known as Pooh. They had a formal interview with him. Auburn Edge, Jalen McLeod, formal. Minnesota linebacker Cody Lindenberg, formal. Penn State linebacker Kobe King, formal. Iowa linebacker Jay Higgins, informal. Oklahoma State linebacker Colin Oliver, formal. Alabama linebacker, this is a guy like Jihad Campbell, formal interview with him. I love that guy. Notre Dame Edge, Howard Cross, formal. Clemson linebacker Barrett Carter, informal. Another player I like, Michigan defensive tackle Kenneth Grant, they had a formal meeting with him. Virginia safety Jonas Sanker, that's a formal meeting. Texas safety Andrew Makuba, formal. Nebraska tight end Thomas Fedone, formal. Georgia Tech tight end Jackson Hawes, formal. Alabama tight end C.J. Dupree, formal interview. Alabama tight end Robbie Oates, formal. Kansas quarterback, Kansas CB Kobe Bryant, formal. South Carolina CB O'Donnell Fortune, formal. Iowa State corner Darian Portal, formal. Florida State cornerback Azura Thomas, formal. Stanford wide receiver Alec Anymore, formal. Illinois wide receiver Pat Bryant, formal. Memphis quarterback Seth Hennigan, an informal meeting. Alabama quarterback, as I told you just a few seconds ago, Jalen Milroe, formal meeting. Tennessee wide receiver Bruce McCoy, formal. That's 30 players right there. Now, what do I read into that? The fact that, okay, of those 30 players, 21 were defensive players, 9 on the offensive side of the ball, 4 tight ends, 3 quarterbacks, and 2 wide receivers. What's missing? What position player is missing out of this list of players? Offensive lineman. They have not met with or will not be meeting with an offensive lineman this week at the combine. Well, that there tells me that they more than likely are going to be resigning Kevin Zeitler to play right guard again. I know when the season ended, his wife uh, sent some tweets out that they loved playing in Detroit and they wouldn't mind staying here for at least another year or two. I think they're bringing Kevin Zeitler back. He is a free agent. If you heard Brad Holmes a couple of days ago holding court down there having a press conference, Lions are $51 million, pardon me, $51 million under the salary cap. He's making it sound like they're destitute. He's saying we got our hands full just trying to re-sign our guys, let alone think about Myles Garrett. He tried to throw cold water on anything involving Myles Garrett. We'll see where that ends up. Myles Garrett steadfastly maintains he doesn't want to be in Cleveland. He wants out. The Browns general manager steadfastly maintains we're not trading him. He's going to be a Brown. He's not going anywhere. We'll see where that goes. If this thing goes out to late July and there's a stalemate here, you could see he's got 2 years left on his current contract. You could see him tell the Browns, "Hey, I'm not coming to camp. I'm not reporting. You're going to have to trade me." We'll see where that ends up. But right now, both sides look like they've dug in. Be interesting to see what in the end what happens there. But to have Myles Garrett, it's hard to envision him starting the season next year with the Browns. The Browns say he's not going anywhere. We'll see where that goes. But anyway, let me tell you about 3 or 4 players that I really like at the combine that I think the Lions would have a shot at getting or move up, that the Lions would move up to take. Mike Green, you've heard his name mentioned before, linebacker out of Marshall, 17 sacks this past season. What is he, 6'4", about 250. He's more of a Sam linebacker size. Compare him a lot to Micah Parsons or Alabama Giant Campbell, if you would, who I just mentioned, Giant Campbell. Got good size. He's a 6'3", 245. He's more of a Sam linebacker, a strong side linebacker. He's a lot like Derek Barnes, plays side to side. If you haven't heard, the Lions have released Jalen Reese-Maybin. He's no longer with the team. Maybe that's another sign they're going to bring another linebacker in. I'd love to see him get Giant Campbell. Will he be there when it comes their turn to pick a 28? I don't know, but this is the kid I like a lot. Along with Alabama safety Malaki Moore, 6'1", 200. The Lions seem to like him a lot. Again, an Alabama player. He said in an interview either yesterday or this morning, he'd love to reunite with his old buddies from Alabama. Terrion Arnold and Brian Branch. They've already obviously played together. He said he'd love to come back and reunite with these guys. That's another name to keep an eye on. Malaki Moore, 6'1", 200-pound safety out of Alabama. Ole Miss linebacker Chris Paul, whose nickname is Pooh, by the way, 6'2", 235. Another guy to keep an eye on, another guy, and I can see them moving up to take. One more, and of course they haven't spoken to him, but Donovan Jackson, an offensive lineman out of Ohio State. He can play either guard or tackle, but as I say, the Lions have not spoken with him at all, and apparently they don't have anything lined up to interview him. So the fact that I said before, if the Lions are not talking with any offensive lineman at all this week, that indication to me, that's an indication they're going to be they will be re-signing Kevin Zeitler, and also I think the Lions have a great affection for Carlton Davis, and I think Davis likewise for the Lions. That's why I think that we'll be re-signing him. It will have to be more than just a one-year contract. In the case of Davis, you'll want a lucrative multi-year deal, something Brad Holmes doesn't usually do, but it depends on just how badly the Lions want him back, how badly he wants to come back. Is that it for me for now? Have I got you caught up in everything? I think so. Anyway, hope I didn't take too long with that. Hope you're listening tomorrow morning from 9 to 10 here locally, WCSR, Timeout Show with Andy Brown. I don't know if Andy has a guest schedule in the morning or not, but give us a listen from 9 to 10 here on WCSR 92.1 FM. I will talk to you all again on Monday. Heads up too, by the way, Monday only, next week only, I'll be doing consecutive shows on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's next week only. The following week, starting Monday, March the 10th, we'll be back in our regular schedule. By the way, don't forget a week from Sunday, which is also the big game for all the marbles, hopefully between Michigan and Michigan State. It's also the day we spring ahead. Spring ahead, you move up 1 hour. So before you go to bed, Saturday night on the 8th, on March the 8th, turn your clocks up 1 hour. You don't have to wait up until 2 o'clock in the morning to turn your clocks back to 3. Just do that before you go to bed. I'll remind you of that again next week. That's it for now. Like I said, tomorrow morning, locally, Andy, 9 to 10, WCSR 92.1 FM. And I'll talk to you all again on Monday. So until then, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Remember, please treat each other with respect. Again, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. So long, everybody.